The sun was hot. The sky was orange. The desert was silent. Far away, something moved in the sand. It was small, weak, and slow. A girl with blue skin crawled across the hot ground. Her clothes were torn. Her hands were shaking. Her lips were dry. She had not drunk water for 2 days. Her name was Kari. She was not from this world. She looked up. In the distance, she saw a tall metal building. It was a human water station. A place where water was kept safe. Guarded. Locked. She whispered. To herself. Almost there. Kari stood slowly and walked toward the building. She kept close to the ground. She didn't want to be seen. She reached the wall. The sun burned her back. Her legs were weak. She found a small door in the back. It had a broken lock. She touched the door gently. It opened with a soft click. Inside it was cool and dark. She saw metal pipes, boxes, and machines. In the middle of the room, there were big water tanks shining silver in the low light. Kari's eyes filled with tears. Water. She ran to the tanks. Her hands grabbed a small metal cup from the shelf. She opened the tap. Clear water dropped into the cup. She raised it to her lips. But then, beep, beep, alarms screamed. Red lights flashed. Kar, I dropped the cup. Her heart jumped. She turned, but it was too late. 3 robot guards rolled into the room. They were tall, strong, fast. Their eyes glowed red. One raised its arm. A long, sharp blade came out. You are a thief, said the robot voice. You will be punished. Kari stepped back, shaking. Please, just water. I'm not a danger. The robots didn't care. One moved closer. The blade pointed at her arm. Then, stop. A loud human voice shouted. The robots froze. A man stepped into the room. He wore a dark jacket, dusty boots, and a scanner on his eye. His name was Jack. He was the station guard. He looked at the girl. She was small, dirty, alien, but her eyes were full of fear. Not hate, not anger. Just fear. Jack walked closer. He waved a hand. The robots backed away. He looked down at the cup on the floor, then at the girl. You broke in to steal water? He asked. Kari said nothing. Her head was down. Jack spoke again. Do you know what could have happened? These robots don't play nice. Kari looked up slowly. Her voice was dry and soft. I was dying, she said. I needed water. Jack crossed his arms. That's not a good reason to break into a human base. Kari didn't answer. Jack looked at her arm. It was cut just a little. The robot's blade had touched her. He sighed. Come with me, he said, before those machines changed their minds. He led her out of the tank room and down a metal hallway. He opened a small door and pushed it open. Inside was a holding room. 4 walls, 1 bench, no windows. Sit here, Jack said. Kari sat. She leaned back, tired. Jack left. A moment later, he came back with a bottle of water. He gave it to her. Kar, I took it with both hands. She drank slowly, carefully. After a while, Jack asked, What's your name? She looked up. Kari. Where are you from? Kari was silent. Jack waited. Why were you in the desert alone? Still no answer. He stood. You better talk soon. Earth Command doesn't like aliens stealing from their stations. I could report you right now. Kari looked afraid, but not surprised. She held the water bottle tight. Jack started walking out. Then Kari whispered, Please, don't call them. Jack turned. Why not? He asked. Kar, I looked at the floor. They'll send me back, she said, and they'll kill me. Jack blinked. Who will? Kari looked up. Her eyes were full of pain. My people, she said. They're looking for me. Before Jack could ask more, a loud alarm rang through the station. A red light blinked on the wall. Jack tapped his scanner. A screen appeared. A ship had landed. Outside, not human. Not friendly. Jack read the message. We are here for the girl. Do not interfere. He looked at Kari. Her face had turned pale. She whispered, "They found me." Asterisk. The door shook. Jack pulled out his blaster and stepped back. Dust fell from the ceiling. The whole station felt like it was holding its breath. Outside, the strange ship had landed without warning. It wasn't human. It wasn't on any schedule, no ID code, no call signal. Just a silent arrival in the dead of the desert, inside the holding room. Kari sat frozen. Her blue skin was pale. Her eyes stared at the door like it would explode any second. Jack stood between her and the hallway. He didn't know why, but something deep in his chest told him not to let them take her. The radio on his wrist buzzed. A voice spoke, flat and cold. "We know the alien is inside. Send her out." "No one else needs to get hurt." Jack said nothing. He looked at Kari. She didn't speak. She didn't move. But her eyes told him everything. She was terrified. He tapped the panel near the door and locked it tight. The screen flashed red. Manual lockdown engaged. Jack turned back to her. "You want to tell me what's going on now?" Kari opened her mouth, then closed it. Her hands were shaking. She still held the empty water bottle like it was her last treasure. "I can't go back," she said softly. "Who are they?" Jack asked. She looked at the wall. "Hunters, from my world. I escaped from a prison ship." Jack stared at her. "Prison ship? You're a criminal?" She shook her head fast. "No, I refuse to fight. I refuse to follow orders." "They called it betrayal." Jack frowned. "Fight who?" Kari looked at him. "Your kind." Silence filled the room. Jack didn't speak. He didn't blink. He just looked at her, trying to understand. "You were part of a war?" he asked. She nodded. "Not by choice. They took me. Trained me. But I ran before the real fighting started." Jack stepped back slowly. His grip on the blaster tightened. "I never hurt anyone," she said. "I swear. I only wanted to get away. To find a place they wouldn't look." Jack said nothing. He turned away and checked the hallway cameras. 3 tall figures stood outside the main door. All wore black armor. Their faces were covered. Their bodies moved like shadows. One of them held a scanner that blinked red. It was pointed straight at the holding room. "They know where you are," Jack said quietly. Kari stood up, weak but ready. "I'll go," she said. "I don't want you to get in trouble." Jack looked at her for a long second. "No, sit down." She stared at him. "Why?" He didn't answer. "Not yet." Instead, he tapped his wrist again and opened a private channel to Earth Command. The screen glowed. A voice answered. "Station 9 report." Jack spoke clearly. "Unregistered alien life form entered the base. Looks like a fugitive from an off-world group. Requesting orders." The voice responded after a pause. "Send her out. Do not engage." Jack frowned. "They might kill her." "Not our problem," the voice said coldly. "Follow protocol." The screen went black. Jack stood there for a moment. His mind was racing. His heart beat hard. He remembered another time years ago. A war zone. A lie told by people in charge. A good man, his own brother, left behind because someone said, "Not our problem." Now he was here again. A choice. He turned to Kari. "They want me to hand you over." She nodded. "I understand." Jack put away the blaster. "But I'm not going to," he said. Kari's eyes widened. "Why?" He gave a tired smile. "Because I've heard that line before. Not our problem, and it always means someone innocent gets hurt." She didn't know what to say. Jack walked to a wall panel and opened a secret hatch. Inside was an old pack, dusty and half broken. He tossed it to her. "You'll need this if we're going to run." "Run?" she whispered. Jack looked her straight in the eye. "Yeah, we're leaving the station tonight." Before she could ask anything more, a loud boom shook the room. The outside door had exploded. They were inside. Asterisk smoke filled the hallway. Dust floated in the air like ash from a fire. The door was gone, blown open by a silent blast. No warning, no sound. Just light, then heat, then smoke. Jack pressed Carrie against the wall, his arm in front of her. He held the blaster tight. His other hand touched the emergency control. Lights turned red. Steel barriers dropped from the ceiling, sealing off parts of the station. Move, he whispered. Kar. I followed him through a narrow hallway, her feet slipping on the metal floor. Her heart was racing. Her ears were ringing. Behind them, heavy footsteps echoed through the smoke. Slow, calm, not in a hurry. The hunters knew exactly where to go. Jack led her into a dark storage room. Old crates, broken drones, and empty fuel cans filled the space. He kicked aside a panel on the floor and pointed down. Crawl, he said. Kar. I didn't ask questions. She dropped into the hole. Jack followed, closing the panel behind them. It was tight and cold under the station. Pipes ran along the walls. The air smelled like metal and dust. Kari whispered, how long before they find us? Jack checked his wrist scanner. Minutes. Maybe less. She looked at him. Why are you helping me? Jack kept walking. Because I've seen people like them before. People who think they can take anything. People who think others don't matter. They reached the end of the tunnel. Jack pushed open a small hatch. Outside, the desert night had fallen. The heat was still there, but the sky was dark. Stars blinked above. 2 moons floated in silence. Kari stepped out, breathing deep. The open air felt like freedom. Then she froze. A black shape stood far away on a hill. One of the hunters, watching. Jack saw it too. He grabbed her hand. This way. They ran, across the sand. Over rocks, under low cliffs. Jack's boots kicked. Up dust. Kari moved like wind, light and quick. Even with tired legs, they reached an old ship half buried in sand, forgotten by time. Its doors were rusted. Its engines cold. Jack tapped the control panel. Nothing. Dead? Kari asked. Jack pulled out a tool from his belt. Not for long. He opened a metal box and started working fast. Wires sparked. Lights blinked. The engine groaned. Kari looked back at the hills. The hunter was gone. Too quiet. Then a red light lit up on the panel. Power's back, Jack said. We're flying. They jumped inside and closed the door. The ship roared to life. Outside, in the distance, 3 figures stood in the desert, watching. The ship rose into the air. Kari sat down, breathing hard. We made it. Jack didn't smile. They're not done yet. As the ship reached the clouds, a dark shape flew out from behind the hills. Another ship. Sleek, fast, hunter design. Kari's eyes widened. They're chasing us. Jack pulled the controls. Then let's make it interesting. The engines burned hot. The old ship groaned and shook, but it climbed higher. The hunter ship fired a blast. The right wing exploded. Smoke poured into the cabin. Kari screamed. Jack shouted, "Hold on!" The ship spun out of control. Alarms screamed. Lights flashed. Wind roared through the cracks. Kari grabbed the seat. "We're falling!" Jack pressed every button he could. Below them, a dark moon appeared covered in shadows and mountains. Ship was going down. Kar. I looked at Jack. Are we going to die? Jack gave a hard smile. Not today. The ship crashed into the moon's surface with a roar of fire and metal. Everything went black. Silence. Not the peaceful kind. The kind that feels heavy, like something is watching. Jack opened one eye. Everything was blurry. The ceiling above him was cracked metal, still glowing hot. Sparks fell from a broken light. His body ached. His ears rang. He tried to sit up and groaned. Pain shot through his side. The ship was destroyed. Smoke filled the cabin. Everything was tilted. The controls were gone. Half the dashboard had melted. He looked around. Curry? No answer. His heart skipped. He pulled himself across the floor, broken glass cutting his hands. The side hatch was open, half ripped off during the crash. He climbed out into darkness. The moon's surface was nothing like the desert. Cold, black, sharp rocks everywhere. Strange white plants growing like teeth from the ground. No sound, no wind. Jack stood slowly. Every breath hurt. Kari! He shouted into the night. Still nothing. Then a shape moved in the distance. He reached for his blaster. Gone. He took a shaky step forward, then another. His boots crunched over black dust. And then he saw her. Kari was sitting near a fallen tree, hugging her knees. Her head was down. Jack rushed to her. Kari, are you hurt? She looked up. A small cut on her forehead, blood glowing blue in the dark. Her eyes were blank, lost. I thought you were dead, she whispered. I'm not that easy to kill, Jack said. She gave a small smile. Then her face turned serious. They're still coming. I know it, Jack nodded. Yeah, they won't stop. She stood slowly. We need to move. He looked around. Where? There's nothing here, Kari pointed. Underground. I saw tunnels when I woke up. This moon, it's not empty. It's hiding something. Jack stared at her. You sure? She nodded. I felt it. Something. Below, not human, not alien, old, Jack sighed. Let's find out then. They walked together through the shadows. The ground was soft under their feet, like walking on ash. The plants seemed to twitch as they passed, but never moved when watched. After a few minutes, they reached a wide crack in the earth. A cave. Kari stepped in first. Jack followed. The tunnel was dark at first, but soon they saw a soft green light coming from deep below. What is that? Jack asked. Kari didn't answer. She walked faster. They reached a large chamber. In the center, a glowing pillar stood, surrounded by strange machines. The walls were covered in carvings. Symbols. Pictures of creatures with wings and fire in their hands. Jack stared. This place is ancient. Kari walked to the pillar and placed her hand on it. It lit up brighter. The whole chamber came to life. Lights flickered. Machines hummed. Dust rose from the floor. Jack took a step back. What did you do? Kari looked at him, calm now, strong. My people used to fear this place. They said it was cursed. I think it's something else. Jack raised an eyebrow. Like what? She turned to face him fully. Hope. Before he could ask more, a loud sound echoed behind them. Footsteps. Three of them. The hunters had found the cave. Kari whispered. They're here. Jack stepped in front of her, fists clenched. No blaster, no armor. Just him. She pulled something from her pocket. A small device, glowing. Jack blinked. What's that? Kari said. A key. To what? To everything. Behind them, the hunters stepped into the chamber. They raised their weapons. Jack stood tall. Kari held the key in her hand. No one moved. Not yet, but the war was about to begin. Asterisk. Jack could hear his own heartbeat. It sounded louder than the hum of machines, louder than the footsteps of the hunters closing in. He stood beside Kari in the ancient chamber, eyes locked on the enemy. The hunters didn't speak. They just moved slowly, weapons pointed. Their black armor reflected the green light from the glowing pillar behind Kari. 3 against 2, no blaster, no backup. No way out, unless the key in Kari's hand did something. More than glow. She looked calm. Too calm, like she knew something Jack didn't. Now would be a great time for a miracle, he whispered. Kari didn't answer. She stepped forward. One of the hunters raised his arm to fire. Kari lifted the key. It flashed bright white, blinding. The whole chamber shook. Symbols on the wall lit up, and a sound filled the room like a low, Ancient voice speaking the language long forgotten. The hunters stepped back, surprised. Then the floor opened. The stone beneath them split apart, and a platform rose from the center. Not old, not broken, new, alive. Kari grabbed Jack's arm and pulled him onto it. The platform shot downward like an elevator with no sound. The hunters fired, but the bullets bounced off a sudden shield that formed around them. Down, into the heart of the moon. Jack gripped the side. Where are we going? Kari looked up at the light above them, fading fast. Somewhere they can't follow. The platform stopped in a vast chamber, a hidden hangar full of machines, ships, and glowing energy. It looked human and alien. And something else. Jack stepped off the platform slowly, staring. This place is real. Kari nodded. My people called it a myth. A city left behind by the first travelers of the stars. They feared it, but I believed it. Jack turned to her. And that key, how did you get it? Kari looked away. It was given to me by someone who died to protect it. Before Jack could reply, the walls shook. They're trying to break in, he said. I ran to one of the ships, sleek, strange, half covered in dust. We can fly out with this, she said. But we need power. Jack looked around. There has to be a control center. They split up. Jack found a panel full of blinking lights. He started pressing buttons. I connected the key to the ship's core. It hummed to life. The hangar lights turned on one by one. The ship's door opened. Outside, above them, the hunters found the tunnel entrance. They were coming fast. Kari jumped into the pilot's seat. Jack ran in after her and sealed the door. Ship rose into the air with a sound like thunder held in a glass. Jack watched the walls split open. A hidden tunnel led upward back toward the stars. They're behind us, Kari said, looking at the scanner. Jack sat beside her. Then let's not wait. Kari pushed the controls. The ship roared through the tunnel, bursting out of the moon's surface in a flash of silver light. But the hunters were not far behind. Their ship rose next, chasing with deadly speed. Kari moved fast, dodging rocks, flying low near asteroid fields, diving through space dust. Jack manned the turret, firing back when he could. One hit, then another. Still not enough. We can't outrun them, Jack shouted. I know, Kari said, but we can trick them. She tapped a button. A beacon dropped behind them, blinking fast. The hunter ship locked onto it, thinking it was them. The trap worked. The hunter ship followed the beacon. Then dash boom. Kari single quotes as ship launched a mine. The hunter ship flew straight into it. A blast lit up the black sky. Silence again. Jack fell back in his seat, breathing hard. That was insane. Kari smiled for real this time. It worked, but Jack's scanner blinked red again. Another signal. Another ship, bigger, faster. He looked at Kari. Her smile faded. They're not done yet. Jack leaned forward. Then neither are we. There was no sound, no sky, no stars. Only darkness. Jack opened his eyes. He was lying on soft ground, not metal, not sand. It felt like grass, but colder and wet. He sat up slowly. The ship was broken again. Pieces scattered around like toys. After a storm, smoke drifted upward, but there was no sky, just a ceiling of strange glowing vines above. A forest underground. His body ached. His hands were shaking. He had no idea how they landed or crashed. All he remembered was the flash of light from the second hunter ship. And then nothing. He stood up and looked around. Everything was glowing. Green and blue. The plants, the trees, even the ground. It felt alive, not in a friendly way. Kari? He called. No answer. His voice echoed and then disappeared. He grabbed a sharp piece of metal from the shipwreck. Not a weapon, but better than nothing. He started walking. The glowing plants whispered as he passed, not with words, but with movement. Like they were watching. Then he saw it, a trail of footprints, small light steps. Not deep. Kari. Jack followed the prints through twisted roots and glowing fog. The deeper he went, the colder it got. He found her sitting beside a pool of black water. She was awake, staring at her reflection. "Kari," he said softly. She looked up. Her eyes were strange, sad, but focused, as if she'd seen something. He hadn't. "You're alive," she said. "So are you," he replied. She nodded, but didn't smile. Jack sat beside her. "What is this place?" Kari looked into the water. "An old world. My people used to call it the heart of the Silent One. No one believed it existed, a place where time forgets you." Jack frowned. "We crashed here?" "We were pulled here," she said. "The ship didn't fail. The moon chose." Jack stood up and looked around. "Well, the moon has bad timing. There's still a ship hunting us." Kari touched the surface of the water. It rippled like glass. "They're not just hunting us," she said. "They're hunting this." Jack stepped closer. "This place?" "No," she said, looking at him. "Me." Jack's eyes narrowed. "Why?" Kari turned to face him fully. "Because I'm not just a runaway. I'm a key, not just for a door, but for something greater. My body, my blood, it's connected to something ancient, something buried." Before Jack could respond, the ground shook. Something was coming. A sound echoed through the cave, deep and sharp. Not footsteps. Wings. Jack looked up. A shape moved in the vines above. Huge. Silent. Then, roar. A beast dropped from the ceiling, part metal, part creature. Eyes burning like stars. It landed between them and the wrecked ship. Kari grabbed Jack's arm. "We have to run," she whispered. Jack didn't move. The beast stepped forward. No fear, no noise. Then it stopped. Stared at Kari. She stared back. Jack slowly raised his metal shard. Kari held up a hand. "Don't." The beast moved its head, like it was listening. Then it knelt. Jack froze. "What the hell?" Kari stepped forward slowly. "It knows me," she said. "It's a guardian." "A guardian of what?" Jack asked. Kari looked over her shoulder, eyes glowing now with light from the pool. "Of whatever is coming next." Light was falling from the sky. Not stars. Pieces of metal. Debris, burning in silence as they dropped into the atmosphere of the black moon. High above, the hunter's warship had arrived. It floated like a shadow, massive and silent, hiding the stars behind it. Kari stood at the edge of the glowing pool, her reflection breaking in the soft ripples. Behind her, the guardian beast knelt like a loyal statue, its glowing eyes locked on the sky. Jack stood beside her, silent. He had seen many things in his life: wars, loss, strange creatures, empty planets, but nothing like this. Kari didn't look scared anymore. She looked ready. "They're coming for me," she said, "but they don't understand what I am." Jack glanced up at the massive ship. "Then let's help them understand." Kari raised the ancient key one last time. It pulsed with soft blue light. The guardian behind her stood tall again. The forest glowed brighter. Symbols on the rocks began to shine. Something was waking. From deep under the moon, a sound rose. A hum. No, it was more like a voice. A voice older than anything Jack had ever heard. The moon was alive. Kari turned to Jack. "I need you to protect me." "Just for a moment." He nodded. "I've got you." The ground trembled. Above, dark figures dropped from the hunter ship. Soldiers in black, falling fast like arrows. Jack ran forward, taking cover behind the ship wreckage. He didn't have a blaster, but he had fire, wires, and tricks. He built traps in seconds. Sparks, noise, smoke. The first 2 hunters landed and walked straight into a mine. The blast lit the forest in red fire. Jack shouted, "Come on then." Kari stayed still. Her eyes were closed. She was glowing now. Not just her skin, but her whole body. The light spread out like waves in water. The guardian beast stood beside her, blocking every shot that came near. Jack fought hard, dirty, like a cornered animal. He didn't win every hit. He bled. He fell. But he got back up, because Kari was still standing. And then it happened. The ground split open, and a tower rose from beneath the pool. Tall, bright, humming with power. Kari floated upward, her feet no longer touching the ground. The hunters stopped. Even they were afraid now. She opened her eyes. The tower fired a beam of light into the sky, straight into the hunter ship. For one quiet moment, the stars returned. Then boom. The ship exploded into fire and silence, raining pieces of dark metal across the surface of the moon. The forest stopped glowing. The tower went dark. And Kari fell slowly, gently back to the ground. Jack ran to her. Kari. She opened her eyes. I'm still here, she whispered. He smiled. You saved everything. She shook her head. We saved each other. The guardian beast lowered its head. The forest pulsed once with a soft blue light. And then, it all went still. Kari stood weak but smiling. What now? Jack asked. She looked up at the stars. We find others like me, she said. And maybe others like you. He laughed softly. Good luck with that, she smiled. Humanity surprised me. You surprised us first, Jack replied. They walked back toward the wrecked ship side by side. Not just human and alien, something more, something stronger.